So today I am going to do some page turning and looking through this kind of like, it's not a magazine and it's not a book, it's like I don't know what you'd call it, a booklet, but it's a BMX book and booklet. It's a BMX booklet, and it centers around the brand BSD, which is a brand that is based in Scotland, but they're an international brand. They're well known. They have riders from all over the world, including the US, but based in Scotland, and they released a mixtape. It was a full-length video just called BSD Mixtape, and this is the zine that kind of came out at the same time as the video, which they released for free on YouTube. So I'm just going to flick through it. I'm not going to read everything. I'm just going to kind of browse through it. So the intro says that what began as a few loose filming sessions in Glasgow soon expanded into trips to Cyprus, Budapest, Barcelona and Tenerife, capturing some of the best riding the crew has ever committed to video to date. So this scene kind of follows that journey and explains that journey, maybe catalogues that journey. And whoever is responsible I believe it will be maybe Fraser Watson or whoever that's supposed to be, but whoever did the graphics for the layout of the magazine really nailed it. I don't know if this is all completely 3D generated or if they got actual cassette tapes and then added the graphics, or even just wrote on actual cassette tapes and staged the whole thing from scratch. I'm not sure, but it looks fantastic either way. So this is kind of like the content section for the magazine. 10 days in Budapest. So they went to Budapest for some filming. So this was towards the end of the filming, so they'd already filmed most of it, and it says they were trying to finalize the video, and that's why they ended up in Budapest, in Hungary. Let's just say I haven't ever experienced such a gnarly hangover like the one I had on the last day of this trip. Yeah, so this is a bunch of kind of like men. So they were probably drinking lots of beer and smoking lots of cigarettes. And then we've got some kind of photos from Budapest, different places they went. Looks like they went to some really nice kind of classic architecture to visit rather than ride. And then found some like local spots that were probably recommended to them. This has a caption. It says Alex D, which is Alex Donnachie, up switch feeble to truck down by the river. So he's come up fast, done a grind up here, and he's done a 360 bar spin off the top. This one says just bar out, which is kind of really underplaying the fact that he did an ice pick grind on this rail to a bar spinner. But that's how the level of BMXing has progressed over the years, that people don't even celebrate certain tricks anymore or even bother to name them, even though they're incredibly difficult tricks. Here's a full-page spread of, who is this? Sam Jones. And he's doing a feeble grind on this kinked rail. It's got kinks in it. And he's doing aspect of a trip like this is the fact that you never know how it's going to end. But as long as you are with a solid crew, all there is to do is enjoy the local flavours. So we're still in Budapest. This is someone else grinding the same obstacle as we saw someone else ride. This is Feeble Up to Whip by Sam Jones. So he's done the same grind that Alex did though. Feeble, although Alex's was switch, and then he's done a tail whip out at the top. And here's Antonio riding this cool kind of modern sculpture. Very nice. Some kind of shots of them travelling around Budapest. This is Alex again, Alex Donnachie. So it looks like he's done double pegs up the rail to bar spin out. I don't know if it was more than just a bar spin, but that's a crazy rail to grind up. You have to go really fast to do that. Then here's a drop ledge here. And this has to be one of the most Scottish names I've ever heard. Guy Scroggy. Effortless switch feeble to bars while finding shade. Oh, I guess it was probably pretty hot in Budapest, so they needed to find some places to cool down whilst they were there, riding all the time. Here's another full-page spread of Alex. He's doing pegs up to 180 bar. Let's see, is it? It is, but it looks like there's some switch tricks in there as well. Switch pegs, switch 180, switch bar. Okay, so everything's switch. From the friends you travel with to the people you meet in the streets, to the documented moments on memory cards and in your mind, is something not to be taken for granted. So here we have a kind of an interlude from the trip, because this is a BMX brand, so obviously they want to sell goods whilst they're at it, and this is Alex Donnachie's bike check, so it's got a list of the bike parts that make up his bike, some close-up shots of specific components. Very nice. I know he rides like a really short top tube and short back end, so it'd probably be too small for me to ride something like that. I love these tyres though. I kind of toyed with the idea of buying them, but I've got enough tyres, I don't need any more tyres. But if I was low on tyres, I definitely want to grab a set of these and try them out. They look so nice. Another advert for some grinding parts. We got pegs, hub guards. These protect your wheels when you're grinding. And these just look like bar ends, which I guess if you fall and smash your bike on the floor and your bars hit the floor, I don't know, it stops them getting damaged, maybe. Big Tam's tour of Glasgow. So it looks like we're in Glasgow now, which obviously is going to be a pretty good shout to go to film, considering BSD is based in Scotland and a few of their riders are also from Scotland. So here's some boys drinking cans of Tennent's, which is gross, but each to their own. This kink rail looks like it's really hard to stay on. These kinks are really steep and harsh. What's he doing here? Oh, I think he's ridden up this bit, hopped over the steps, and done a little bonk on the wall. We call it a bonk when you do like tap your tires and then drop it. Wouldn't call it a full wall ride, I don't think. This is Reed Stark. He's really good. Reed Stark, where's he from? Maybe he's from Australia, I can't remember. Probably America. I think most of them are from America. Doing a wall ride on a road sign from this brickbank lodge that is actually really high to get to just using this little launch here. This is quite mellow looking, so that must have taken some real wally to get up there. With spirits high and Denim's punctures patched up, the fire was burning for more. Tony shuts down another no longer there spot. Oh, okay, so this is... Oh, it's like a fat square rail, so he's hopped onto it, rolled across and up, and then done. That's got to be a down whip. 180 is so funny that they don't even tell you what the trick is. They're just like, here's the photo. It's like, that's really good and worth shouting about. Anyway, but then there's so many like tricks like that in the video, I guess. Just show everyone and then get on with it. A 4-page spread. Is this Dan Foley? Not Dan Foley, Joe Foley. Dan Foley's another guy. I keep mixing up their names because they're both Foley. Hop rail ride, hop bar spin over the bollard. That's crazy. Rail ride, hop the rail ride. I can't believe, like in BMX these days, how normal rail rides have become. Can you imagine actually riding along a rail that's about the width of your tyre? It's like something you'd go to the circus to see. And now so many people can do it. Oh gosh, so he's written on the top of this. Oh gosh, that's so white. So he's written across the top of this wall. Drop down to grind this rail. It's a lovely photo with the canal here as well. Oh wow, so he's ridden up the bank, done a wall ride on railings, and dropped into here. And that looks really steep, and I bet this gap probably looks way wider in person and is a lot more intimidating than maybe the image would have you believe. Cool. This, I think, I'm not sure, but this might be quite a famous Scottish skate park. Or one corner of it, this kind of looks reminiscent of the one I'm thinking of, but not the same, so it might not be the same one, but either way, this is Reed Stark. Yeah, Reed Stark does big stuff Reed stuff does like big moves quite often, so I wouldn't be surprised. Wow, yeah, it is Reed Stark. This is really high and steep. So, very impressive. Fakey tire tap. Gasper Gwendolyn. Photo by Dave Sowerby. I think this Dave Sowerby person is actually like a resident photographer and editor and videographer for BSD. With the decline of BMX over recent years, maybe the last 10 years, and there being less money in BMX, things like having like an in-house photographer for a BMX brand usually is not a thing for a lot of brands, but BSD thankfully kept this because I heard someone else say it in a podcast, so it's not my original thought, but I do agree that when you have the same person that shares a vision with you as a brand and a way of executing that vision, it creates a stronger sense of the brand, because every time a video comes out or a new piece of media and it's made by the same team collaborating in the same way, there's like a sense of consistency that runs through all of those things, and a kind of a vibe or a feeling that is shown consistently through those things, and that gives you a sense of familiarity, and it gives the brand a sense of identity in a way that can't really be expressed in words. So, and you can really tell that when you watch the BSD video. It's just got this feeling all the way through, and unfortunately, a lot of BMX brands have decided not to keep on their in-house people, so they use a different person each time, and there's nothing wrong with that because there's a lot of talented people that can make videos and media that need work, but there's no collaboration between the videographer and the brand. There's no long-term relationship with a shared vision that gets communicated. Typically, the person creating the content will have their idea, their vision, and that's what you get to see. And although it's good, it doesn't create that sense of consistency and identity that I spoke about earlier. Another tire ride. He's hopped onto this rail, ridden all the way across this rail, and then hopped off down into the street. It's crazy to me how normal rail rides are now. Even though this rail is really chunky and wide, this is still insane. I've watched the video, he rides up, across, down, up, and then maybe hops off at the end, but like right by here. Or maybe he launches out of here. It's crazy. Such a good video. Oh, this is a really cool photograph, but it doesn't really show off the setup properly. It's like this curved wall, and if you can see in this part of the photo, there's a gap with a gate. Here, there's another gap here that's obviously the fisheye lens has warped it, so it isn't giving a proper sense of size, but it's a sizable gap, and Denim, that's his name, Denim Cox, wall rides, then hops the gap to continue wall riding on this wall. It's very, very cool. Here is another advert for the BSD Gaspar Gwendoline focus frame. So I don't know if this is one of BSD's frames in a colorway that is specifically for this rider, or if it's a 21. I used to ride a 21.6 Raider frame. I like the long back end, taller head tube, and taller standover, but just wanted to tweak that design a little. I think, so it is an original frame for him, so this is his signature frame, but he took another frame called the BSD Raider, which was a rider called David Grant. It was David Grant's signature frame. He took that frame's geometry and he just tweaked it slightly, but David Grant was not in this video. I'm not sure what's happening with David Grant these days. I don't know if he still rides or not. I know they still produce and sell the BSD Raider frame, but he was not in this video, and I'm not sure if he rides for them anymore, or if he rides at all. Oh dear. Okay, so this is the slam section, written by Denim Cox, called "Take the Good with the Bad." We can see here he slammed straight onto his face. And here you can see he's got a neck brace on and all these. Denim Cox goes crazy. He does really big jumps. We've got an ambulance crew kind of here. Someone lying down here. Joe Foley in hospital. God knows what's happened to him. If he's like ruptured something. These guys go big. They don't mess around. The photos and the videos never do justice, truly, to the obstacles that they tackle. When you see some of these places in real life, when you visit them, it doesn't seem possible that they do these things. A lot of that is lost, and it's just impossible to It's like when you see the Grand Canyon on YouTube, it looks awesome, but it will never do justice to actually standing at the edge of Grand Canyon and taking it all in, and it's kind of the same thing. You can't fathom how insane these tricks are until you're standing there at the place they did it and realize just how implausible it seems. Tenerife, Chocolate Paradise, Tenerife, Spain is a really popular destination for BMX riders and skaters, rollerbladers, just anyone that does like an action sport. They always, teams or riders always end up doing a road trip at least once to Barcelona or Spain or an island like Tenerife. There's just loads of spots there. The locals are really laid back and don't care about people doing this kind of stuff. The police don't bother anybody, so you kind of get to do what you want. No one's really bothered by it. They're not offended by it. And the weather is always great there. Sometimes it's too hot, as we've seen in the news lately. What's this? Sam Jones. Is this a section dedicated to Sam Jones? With all the BSD trips under your belt. Oh, this is a Q&A. Alright, this is a Q&A with Sam Jones in relation to the Tenerife trip. Sounds cool. Sam is crazy. He's English, I believe. Oh, okay, so each rider perhaps gets like a little 2-page spread of questions regarding Tenerife. It's interesting, so the way that they've done this scene is instead of just covering each location they went to in exactly the same way and just having place A, place B, place C, each location they've tackled in a different format. So for Tenerife they've done like, there's still the images of course, but they've done this Q&A. It's really interesting. And then here's Joe Foley's questions, which are a lot shorter. Joe Foley, when you see him on video, he seems like a man of few words, to be honest. But a man of action. Denham Cox is crazy. He's very, very talented. Not just on the BMX, he does like these kind of fabricating jobs, which doesn't really... I won't go into it too much because it'll take too long for me to articulate, but he does this kind of artistic fabrication work and creative fabrication work that's really impressive. Joe Foley, and then a big 2-page spread of who are we looking at here? Joe Foley. So he's doing a huge hop over this wall, drop down, then hopping the feeble 360 out on this ledge, and he was going lightning fast when he did this. I think I recall from the video he was going so fast at this. What are we looking at? Another frame. BSD Steez. From doing us proud in Diggs Project X to a mind-blowing part in the BSD mixtape, the infamous Mr. Steez is making his mark in 2024. So we are stoked to announce Joe Foley on the pro team with his first signature part, the BSD Steez frame. Well deserved, lad. Have a quick look. Oh, let's see what he says about the frame. I've ridden a lot of the BSD frame range and like different parts of all of them. The Steez frame combines everything I wanted into my dream design. I'm stoked to get a 21.3-inch frame with a steep head angle and short back end. Okay, so he hasn't referenced any specific frames that he took as a base and then modified. But he likes the 21.3 top tube length, so he's quite tall. Chainstay length is short, 12.8 to 13.2, more techy. Head tube angle, 75.2, is very steep, good for nose manuals and things like that. Standover is 9.2, which is on the higher side, although most BMX frames are around the 9-inch standover mark these days. So it's about average for today's standard. And then, I don't know if this is location specific or we're just getting a little bit of a photo dump that's in regards to just kind of like a lifestyle. I mean, it says forever and ever, and then there's photos of people in tattoo parlors getting the BSD logo tattooed onto them, so maybe it's just that. If you will, I will if you will. Denim Cox's bike check. I love this orange, that's really nice. And this seat is super clean, brown with the little black accents. I had these grips before, they're pretty good. The Joe Foley Pegs drop story, words by Reed Stark. Okay, so this is a crazy, like, double drop to pegs grind that he did. He rolled down this huge, this picture's too small, and it's kind of difficult to see here in the background of the image here, but you can see Joe's bike. Joe is very tall, he's like 6'4" or something, and then you can see the top of the railing here, which is where he grinded, so it was huge. And obviously, when you get big tricks like this, and these professional riders, they think through these things for a very long time and kind of plan and organize how they're going to do it the day they're going to do it, because everything has to feel just right. So what we see here is a story that revolves around their plan to take on this insane spot. Alright, here's a better picture. So we can see the street here, and this seems to be the roof. We've got this metal sheet roofing, and along the edge this kind of thick brick wall edge to rail. So he's, in the video, started somewhere near the top. He's rolled down this wall, dropped to pegs, double peg grind along this rail, and then hopped off. I think he just hopped off. I don't think he did like a bar spin or anything, but it's huge. This is like ceiling height, high ceiling height. And this is obviously, if you're up here, you're in the second story of a building, pretty much. So he's gone from second story to first story, grind, drop to ground level. Insane. Photo gallery. Okay. These are crazy. Like, they look like skate park ramps, but they're just part of architecture. And these ledges, it makes you wonder, did a skater design this? I think every council, architectural design team for every council should have like a resident skater or BMXer on the team to help sneak these things in and make architecture a little bit more interactive and fun. Whenever I see a playground or go to a new playground with my son and I see one of these metal slides that's kind of a bit wider than average, I always think, oh, should I get my bike and ride down that? Obviously when the park's empty, not full of kids. I remember this, I think it's this rail from the video. They were there kind of at night, and obviously there's a big block of apartments there and they're grinding and it's making lots of noise and they're cheering. And in the video people start throwing drinks and water out of their apartments at the BMXs, which I thought was quite funny. Funny but understandable. This zigzagging ledge, Sam Jones does a pedal 5, I think it's called. It's like a hang 5. A hang 5 is where you put one foot on the front peg and then do a nose wheelie while your other leg is kind of dangling in the air as counterbalance. And then a pedal 5 is the exact same thing, but instead of your foot being on the front peg, it's on the pedal, which makes it a lot harder. So he's done that through these zigzags on this ledge, and then he's done a bar spin off at the end. Very, 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 very difficult. Nice easy pegs grind here. A big disaster. Oh wait, is this the one where he like hops over the front of the rail? A tooth grind. I think that's no. I think he just jumped from the side. I don't think he jumped over the end of the rail, but I think there's a trick in the video where someone does something where they hop over the actual end of the rail to something. My gosh, that drop is huge. It's almost 3 of them. Very big. And that is the end. And apologies for waiting until the very end of the video to do some page turning sounds. I don't think they will have, the regular ones that I did will have been picked up very well, but here are some right at the end. Can I change the focus slightly on the fly? Let's try. Almost. Loud bang outside. I found it really difficult to find time to actually make a video. I mean, motivation is a large part of it, but finding actual time to do this and having the quiet to do it has been very, very difficult. So today I have the house to myself. I started the day with a hot bath and some self-care, and then finally got around to filming this. I actually got this magazine when I ordered something from a BMX shop. They just packed this in with my order. I didn't really plan this video out properly. I should have given it more thought before I started recording. I could have done a lot more of this page turning sounds actually in between filming the earlier part. So now this video is going to be about 30 minutes of just me whispering. And then all the page turning. It's going to be at the end. Something that could have been avoided if I'd thought things through before I began. I think I'm going to watch this video again at some point. I would like to do it today, but I don't know if I'll have enough time. I still need to edit this video, which hopefully should be really straightforward. But we'll see. I have a new camera that can have a microphone plugged directly into it now, so I don't need to sync up my audio recorder and my video like I used to, which is going to make the whole process a lot easier. Hopefully. You know, it's pretty cool for a free magazine. Free booklet. You can scan this code to watch the video. I don't know if you can pause a YouTube video, then scan the QR code to watch another YouTube video. I don't see why not, but you can if you want to. Well, that is it from me. Oops. Camera's gonna fall, it's way too heavy for this tripod. Okay. Thank you for watching. And I will catch you all in the next one. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.